welcome back. This is still the Fresh Prince of Flipping. Just wanted to give you guys an update on my quarantine project. If you remember, yes, I know my garage is an absolute mess. Yes, I know. I've been working. About to show you what I've been doing. All right. Like I said, just a quarantine project. 84 Caprice LS swap. All right, so if you tune into the last video, you see actually how far I've actually come on this engine. So I'm just going to be explaining some of the things I've done to it. First, of course, is a 5.3 LS out of a 2000 Silverado. All right, pulled that out as a long block. And first thing I did was go grab some heads out of the junkyard as well, 862s, when I got them fully done. What I mean by that, valves, seals, everything that you can do to heads, I've done to these, all right? So after I picked them up, I threw them on. This is gonna be carbureted. So that is a Holley LS Carb intake. All right, cathedral ports, which are the longer ports. Just need a carb for it. As you can see, I'm running the MSD PN 6014. That's what I chose to run. Got it set on truck right there since I got it out of a truck. Base tune pretty much. Brand new water pump, new alternator, stock truck bracket, regular harmonic balancer, stock. I haven't done nothing. Grabbed the thermostat housing out of the junkyard. Running the stock exhaust manifolds, junkyard coils. You do need a harness for the coils. What I mean by that is there's an actual harness, if you see, that plugs into all the coils on each side of the engine. So this is one harness, then over there is another harness. All right, this MSD connection actually comes with an MSD box that comes with the harness as well. All right, so you have one sensor right here. I can't remember if it's the camera crank, I always get them mixed up. There's another one behind the starter. I really can't show you guys that, but it's down there. And they have a harness for that. You just push those in, pretty simple. Click, click. Then you will connect the camera crank sensor harness to this part of the harness. I'll take that, hold up. To this part of the harness, all right? That runs over there to the box. I'm actually gonna keep my heat. Not really worried about AC, but I wanna keep my heat, all right? So I have these lines just thrown on here. For fuel, I ran a gas tank out of a, what is that? A 1989 Caprice, since it has the baffle in there, and I don't have to worry about, it's the new tank. I don't have to worry about, you know, fuel going back to side and having starvation issues, so I chose to go with that one. The fuel sending unit I ran with was a FG10F from Spectra. I actually have the box somewhere. Let me show you for all the parts numbers, guys. All right, so it's this one. FG10F, all right? And then you could just get a stock fuel pump from a 1985 or 1989 Caprice. All right, y'all still see the Mustang back here. All right, so that's for fuel. Unfortunately, this car was a V6. So this plug that actually comes with all the other Caprice stock setups for the fuel pump, mine did not have. So I spliced those wires and connected them accordingly. Even though my fuel gauge isn't working right now, it's having an issue, but it's all good, I'll figure it out. Next, come over here. Please don't mind the huge starter wire. I had to, you know, use what I had. I'll cut it down later. This would be fuel pump relay. All right, pretty simple. Your regular old relay, you got your power. I've always fuse, sorry about that. You got your power. I always fuse my relays. You got your grounds, of course, over there. And then, what else? I'm missing one. Constant, 12 volt constant right there. And I spliced this for both my relays. On Caprices, this wire is actually pink. It's the one that you use for the distributor, the same one. So I'm using that as a 12 volt constant for both my relays. You have, on the V6, you have 2 red wires that will go down in the starter. Both of them connect to one ring terminal. There may be, on the V8s, I think there may be 3 wires, or it's 2 wires and 1 red wire, which is the charging wire that goes to the alternator. So since I have a V6, these 2 are actually connected on one ring terminal, all right? And they go down in the starter. If you have a V8, most likely it's gonna be 3 red wires. You just need to figure out which 2 go down in the starter. And then there's 1 that goes to the back of the alternator right there. All right, I still gotta get the pigtail right here, figure that out. This is the TV cable for the transmission. I have a new bracket and I'm gonna be running, oh, almost fell. This garage is a mess, man. Gonna be running this bracket. Fancy, right? Running that one. And that should be fine for that. Still doing a little carb research. So like I said, stock exhaust manifolds, grab some wires for the yard, coils from the junkyard. I'm only $2,400 in this car complete, including the car, including the engine. Bought the car for $950, bought the engine for like $300, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to be nice, but I'm still taking my time, all right? Like I said, this is for fuel pump. This is actually for the MSD box, protecting that. MSD box comes with a harness that actually shows you how to wire up. Not how to wire up a harness, you can find that anywhere, but actually how to protect the box or what it recommends to protect it. Here we go on the harness again, stock harness for the Caprice. This green wire is actually the engine coolant temperature sensor. I marked that right there for focus, ECT. And then this one brown wire is actually the alternator feed wire, all right. Got my little battery screwing things there. There's a PCV back here. Figure out what I want to do with that. I'm actually going to be running all these wires under the intake. I feel like it'll be a lot cleaner. Power steering pump on the Caprice. This here is the stock power steering line. Caprice stock power steering line. Still screws in, and it screws back to the back of the power steering with no problem. All right. So the other line, I actually got a fitting, AN6 fitting right there to fit that one. Can't remember the size, but I just looked up GM, you know, 80s. I think I put like 84, 85 or something. Steering box, AN6 fittings, or whatever I put in there to find it. All right, put that on there, just run a rubber line fitting, ran that to the other line. Like I said, the big one is my starter wire. This blue, which is for the fuel pump relay, I ran that all the way in the back. Stock LS ECT, running that. MSD harness comes with a plug for that. You don't have to run it, but I chose to. This right here is actually the stock Caprice oil pressure switch or whatever it is. I'm going to be running that. So Jegs Summit has an adapter actually for that broken sensor you see back there. Has an adapter for that screw hole. Put it in there, put the stock oil pressure switch in there, and run that via that plug, the stock plug. As far as fuel, since this car was a V6, it came with one fuel line right here. Let's see if I can get you right there. There's one fuel line right here. That one fuel line right here. So I put a rubber hose on that thing, ran it up to my bypass pressure regulator to the feed side. All right, got this side that's gonna go to the carb. Of course, I got it over here just out of the way right now. Had it in the bottle for testing. And then the bottom one right here is a return. Since this car only, like I said, was a V6, this car didn't come with two lines, a feed and a return. This car came with a feed and a vent. So on this vent over here, right here, I'm actually running my return line to that vent. And I'm gonna use that hard line that's already plumbed to the back of the car as my return line. All right. Saved me about 50 bucks in fuel line. So that's it so far. Like I said, it cranks. I have the stock radiator right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that to work for this application as well. Still have that over there. I'll probably get a clutch fan and, you know, clutch fan. Might go electric fans later, but I'll just use those to harden the radiator. As of right now, clutch fan attaches to the front of that water pump. This is where the radiator will sit. I gotta get a upper radiator hose, lower radiator hose. But yeah, that's her so far. It's coming together. Looks kind of crazy right now, but definitely putting the work in to get it done. Still trying to figure out what I want to do about gauges, because 84s didn't really come with that many gauges. So I got a fuel speedometer, and that's about it. I mean, I want something nice I can put maybe over here or something that has oil, temp, you know, stuff like that, since I don't have it on the dash. Still gotta get these door panels done. Don't know what color I'm going in with the interior, but motor and transmission is most important. The transmission is a 700 R4. Got the spacers and everything for that. Got that all hooked up. Flywheel all hooked up. Drive shaft, didn't really have to do much to it. These mounts are the stock V6 mounts. If you got a V8, oh, that's a different application. But these are the stock V6 mounts. Let's see if I can get you down there. Stock V6 mounts for the Caprice. Clamshell, and then an ICT billet. What is it? Swap spacer, or whatever they call it, bracket, engine bracket for LS swaps. All right, got on the first bolt hole, put it in the same location as the stock V6. So I'm running with that, really haven't ran into no issues. Got a trans dipstick, oil dipstick running. Like I said, once I get this car put on, I'll tidy up all the wires. I'm actually finna make some relay wires so they're all, how can I put this, a lot more neat than what they are now. I'll probably have like a setup. I've seen a lot of them on eBay where, you know, it holds like 3 relays and you can have the wires looking all nice. I'll probably do it over there on that, this side, this fender. Have it all nice right there. Still got to get a hood for this thing since I messed this one up. Long story. What else? MSD box also requires 2 grounds. Just went ahead and grounded that to the front, both of them in the same spot. Like I said, all this stuff is going to be going under the intake right here. It's going to be going under the intake right here, so it's a lot cleaner than what it looks like now. Be a lot more clean, make me a lot more happy. Here's the transmission lines. Just got them kind of hanging there right now until see if I want to go with a transmission cooler, which I think I have to. I know this has one, but I don't know, I might go with a like an external or something. But the car is clean. You know, clean car. Needs a little work. Once I get these wires tidied up, get it running, I'll drive it for a little bit, then I'll start getting, you know, give it a bath, make sure it doesn't need anything else, make sure the brakes are good. I want to go with a Brembo or Wildwood brake system. Once I get all the necessities out the way, I'll worry about the interior, because that's the last thing I'm worried about. Like I said, I'm happy with it. It's what I've been working on. Still my quarantine project, but I'm a carburetor away from driving it. So thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys have any questions about this, the LS swap or the MSD box, or getting it in here, what mounts I used, any questions, y'all go ahead, hit me up. If you like the video, subscribe. Every now and then I post updates of the car. I will continue to work on it even after it's running. On my channel, I actually show how I create additional sources of income for a lot of people. You can go ahead and tune into that as well if you're interested. Like I said, my name is Jeremy, Fresh Prince of Flipping, and I'll see you on the next one.